Very happy here with Kathy Peters from Be Amazing, an amazing organization that has done so much work to raise awareness about child exploitation and human trafficking. And there's been a huge movie that's shed a lot of light on that. You might have heard of it. It's Sound of Freedom. So we're going to catch base with you to see how you think that's had an effect on the fight that you take on and what people can do to go forward and beyond to take action. All right, for those who are not familiar with you, Kathy, just briefly tell us a little bit about some of the work you've done through the Be Amazing campaign.
Well, I'm a former inner city high school teacher, so I learned about the issue of sexual exploitation, human sex trafficking, and child sex trafficking 45 years ago, and I've really been raising awareness about this issue for the last 10 years to politicians, the police, and the public. So it's just a couple of years ago that I started my Be Amazing campaign. I wanted to be positive and family friendly and support parents and really get the word out about what's going on. So check out my website, beamazingcampaign.org. It's a one-stop shop on this. And as a result, I'm doing a lot of presentations. For example, I presented recently to the Canadian Sexual Exploitation Summit. That presentation's on my website. And I was asked to go to Ottawa to present to the Federal Status of Women Committee. That is also up on my website, along with a lot of resources so you can get help. You know what to do so we can start to stop this thing.
Yeah, so you're a wealth of information in this area. So thanks for being on Rebel News. But recently we've seen Sound of Freedom do so well in the box office, despite all odds against them, raising a lot of awareness. What's your thoughts on the impact that that movie is having?
It's had a huge impact. The big thing is people now believe me when I say it's a problem in Canada. The good news is we have the best law globally, the Protection of Communities and Exploited Persons Act, but it's not enforced consistently across Canada. So what it does is it criminalizes and focuses on the sex buyers and the profiteers, those who are causing the harm. So we've got the law in place. We just need it enforced. And the sex industry really want that law repealed, especially here in Vancouver, Victoria. They're putting pressure on the federal government to repeal it. So, what I've jumped in, I've just gone and written my book, and it's Child Sex Trafficking in Canada and How We Can Stop It. So the movie has certainly given me an opportunity to talk a lot more about this. I'm taking a lot of emails, interviews, and this is good news.
Well, that's why I wanted to speak with you, because a lot of people were heartbreaking to see what's happened, reminded of something so evil happening in the shadows, and they're sharing it, which is great to raise awareness. But what are some of the steps that people can do? We're in a beautiful area here in North Vancouver. Families are walking by. What can the everyday family do if they want to stand against this?
I keep it super simple. We have to learn, share, alert. So learn about the issue. One way you can do that, again, is get my book, go to my website. It's a good place to start. But I also always show these posters. This is a Canadian Centre to End Human Trafficking. They have a national hotline number if you suspect anything going on. So the number here is 1-833-900-1010. They're a fantastic resource. So I say learn about the issue and go to Federal Public Safety, their website. They've got a good section on human trafficking there. And then share about it. Talk about it with your family, friends, and contacts. That's the big problem is people here in British Columbia don't know anything about the issue. There really is a lack of public awareness. So that's why I love doing these videos and these interviews. And the last thing is alert. Alert people in power. Alert your politicians. This is a priority. You want this addressed and stopped. So your local mayor, your city council, your school board, your MLA, your provincial leaders, your MP, really, really important to let them know. And any community leaders, whether it's your doctor, like any service providers, anybody you can think of who's leading in the community, alert them about this issue. Canada is not immune to this. That's the point I want to get across. And the sex traffickers are really acting with impunity in British Columbia in particular. Here we are in beautiful Vancouver. I love it here, but it is a port city. And we've got the airport close by and we're close to the U.S. border. So this is a very, very vulnerable area.
Well, again, a wealth of knowledge. One other thing I want to point out that I've seen in my research is parents can talk to their teens about this industry that's happening and have them aware so that they don't fall in the traps And one thing that stuck out to me is that there are a lot of boys falling into human trafficking. So you tend to think it might be the girls. The movie kind of showed that as well. But make sure if you have young boys that you're raising to be young men, that they know that this is an evil industry and to stand against it as well. Anything you want to ask or add, any last words?
And well, the big thing is talk with your children. You've got to know what's going on in their lives. Stay very connected with them. I mean, I'm not talking about helicopter parents here. I'm talking about staying connected. Talk about these issues. And the big thing is talk about healthy relationships. What does a healthy relationship? That's the number one question that high schoolers are getting confused about. So relationships are important. Your homes need to be stable, consistent, provide security, and you really want to have trust with those young people. I have a big thing about social media that is causing a lot of the problem. We've got unregulated technology. So most of the trafficking is happening online. That's where the luring and grooming takes place. 90% of it starts online and then it switches to offline. So what they're saying in the U.S., the U.S. Surgeon General came out and said 13 years of age and older really to be on social apps. So I'm hearing more people and academics saying 15 years of age and older before people are on those social media apps. In terms of the boys, it's really on the video gaming sites that they're being buying, and we're seeing that just explode. And when these boys get caught in this, and these predators, what they do is they ask for a nude. That's what they want. And once they got that, boy, things will go south really, really quickly. And boys and girls, when they're caught involved in this, they're so ashamed. They're embarrassed. And like the Amanda Todd situation, in her case, I mean, she killed herself. So that's why we really have to talk about this. Let's get it out in the open. I want to empower all of you so we can stop this together.
Well, there you have it. Kathy Peters with the Be Amazing campaign. And I'm Drea Humphrey with Rebel News. While mainstream media has brought it upon themselves to tackle the sound of freedom, dismiss it as some sort of QAnon conspiracy theory, Rebel News is here to bring you coverage on the real issue. And this isn't the first time we've covered human trafficking. If you appreciate that Rebel News is here to bring you the other side of the story, you should know that unlike 95% of media, we don't take a penny from the federal government. Instead, just like the Sound of Freedom movement, we are reliant on the people who donate to keep us running. If you'd like to support our journalism, please go to rebelnews.com and hit the donate button. We appreciate your support.